Hey y'all, welcome back to my not my plus size, Lovely J podcast with Miss Coco Bowden. Okay, it does feel like my plus size grandma because because I'm talking about some personal things that are going on in my life, and I did not say that I wouldn't talk about it, but I am. And one of the things that I am talking about is the fact that my identity has been stolen. So this is part two of that I just processed earlier. Um, Somehow I wanted to ask the question and find out, what's it called whenever it's not just your identity stolen, but your identity has somehow, I would say, ended up on the net, all over the net, and people have real time footage and sound of everything that you're doing. Now, for the sake of not sounding crazy, I would say that I just always wondered, how do they know I'm going this direction? And how do they know to meet me at the stop sign before I get there? Every time I go somewhere in my car, I run into these people that just so happen when I drive past their house, well, before I get to their house, they're either standing outside the door, they open up their house doors, or either they drive to the end of the driveway to make sure that I see them turning, or, they put on their signals and they blow their horns. And it's a whole lot of stuff that they add in there to let me know that, hey, I really don't care for you in this neighborhood. It's that type of vibe, or that community watch type vibe. And it took me a long time to understand what all this stuff was. But okay, so I'm just going to let people be people. If that's how they want to be, then, I can't waste my time fussing with them or trying to prove to them that I'm innocent, or that whatever it is I supposedly done that I didn't do. So rather than waste my time on trying to prove all that stuff, by the way, y'all, it's called gang stalking. But I'm not going to waste my time on trying to prove that. But I do want to focus my time more on my stolen identity. And what I said in part one was that I lost my wallet, and a woman found my wallet. And after she found my wallet, she used my cards. She used whatever cards I had in that wallet. She used those cards. And we went to court for it. She was found guilty. And, I don't even know what they gave her, but she was found guilty for it. I think they gave her like probation, something like that. At least that was the recommendation from me, was to do probation and some community service. And I never thought no more about it. But then in 2019 and 2020, 2021, I keep receiving these messages saying there's a breach. There's a breach in my credit, in my files, my financial institution, the bank, in my medical records. There was a breach. I even received letters of these breaches from the companies. And so once I got those letters and things, I really didn't follow up with it. I just kind of figured that it would go away. I did not think much about it up until now. I really didn't, because I thought the company handled it. The doctor's office, First Health, places I was going to be seen. I thought they handled that and that they had us covered. But it was a number of people who got breached during that time. And some of the people who were breached during that time that I know were my family members. There were some family members who was part of that breach too. They'll never admit to that, or never admit to some of the things that's going on in their lives. And, basically the same thing I'm going through. They're going through the same thing too, but they will never admit to that. And I'm not going to call the names of which ones is what, but I'll say this, that breach happened. And at the same time that this breach happens, I'm getting blackmailed by somebody named Ivanka. I don't know who Ivanka is, but somebody named Ivanka sent me an email and told me on this email that if I did not do what they said or go tell my family, certain ones in my family, what they wanted me to say, that something was going to happen. Basically. If I could pull that up, I might could tell you exactly what it said. Let me see. Let me see, y'all. I'll read to you what it said, that email. Now, I didn't go to the police about it because I was kind of like, okay, well, let me see if I can pull it up. I think I've talked about this one time before, too, on here. I didn't go to the police about it because I was like, okay, so the woman who sent me the message was a woman by the name of Stella. Her name was Stella. And it wasn't Ivanka, y'all. It was Stella. And this email had pictures. This email had names. And this email was of people that I knew. And I thought they mixed me up with somebody else. That's what I was thinking at first. But now that I see that I'm going through all of this, I don't believe it was a mix-up. I believe they thought they had me, and I believe they thought me and the person that they were targeting were closer friends than what we are. So I'm just going to say this. Just imagine if they sent me nudes of them. Imagine the pictures that they got off of my phone when they hacked my phone and hacked all my other stuff, the pictures that have been sent around of me. You know, I know there's a spread around saying that I'm trashy, but I'm going to tell you off the gate that if I had relations with somebody, and I had a lot of relations, back in the days, I had a lot of relations, okay? And it wasn't even with a lot of people. It was for the fact, you know, when you get into church, people expect you to immediately give up everything that you're doing. And, you know, I guess it's this perfect person they're looking for, and you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that, and we're not, and we have to grow into our faith, and there's just disciplines that I did not have back then. And so I was seeing a guy, and we was getting it on, like we were doing it good. I ain't had no complaints. Had asked for forgiveness, but I ain't had no complaints. I enjoyed the moments while I was out there in the world, and I suffered the consequences after I would get back home with depressions and all that stuff I had to go through, sexual soul ties. But anyways, there was possibly pictures of me. I don't know. Pictures of me. I remember this guy told me that it was a picture that was passing around of me. And I was like, what? Are you serious? He said, yeah. I said, but I never sent my pictures to anybody. Which I didn't. I never sent nude pictures to nobody. However, the person that I was sleeping with at that time, which is not the people in the email mentioned in the email, the person that I was sleeping with, I do recall me and this person, when we would get up, we like things a little spicy, okay? So we would do some spicy stuff. And it's a possibility that if he got hacked the way I got hacked, that, you know, something could have got out there. But as far as me just taking pictures and sending it to random people, nope, that's not what happened. I didn't do that. So anything that got out there was without my permission. However, I look at what they did to this couple. This was a couple. This was a married couple. I look at what they did to this couple. They sent me this couple's information, their pictures. There's stuff I can't unsee, but I wouldn't dare go out here and try to belittle them or try to make them, you know, feel like they less than because they fail. Because we all fall short of God's glory. And the sooner people realize that, the better off you're going to be. And you can make it through anything that come your way once you realize that we all fall short. Don't feel bad just because you're not where you're supposed to be either. I'm still not where I'm supposed to be. I'm not doing the things I used to do, but I'm still not where I need to be. But work in progress. Okay, so basically, This woman, Stella, we'll call her Stella, she sends me this, and she sent me this December 1st, 2022 at 1:45 p.m. I did not open this for I think I did not open this up until maybe 2 or 3 weeks later is when I open it up, because I usually, when I check emails and stuff, I don't go through, if you don't have a subject there, I usually just skip right over it. Or if I don't know you from the subject title and it looks like spam, I skip over it too. But I went to this and finally I opened it and it says, hello, I have something to show you, and it's about blank, blank, blank husband. Now, I seen this and I was like, huh? Somebody's husband. Immediately, my eyes got big. And then they say, if you really love their family and you care for them, kindly tell them to text me before I ruin their life. That's what it said. That threat was threw at me. If you love them, you got to tell them before I ruin their life. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I've never been through anything like that. And I really don't even know this couple like that. I don't know them like that. They come along the time when my mom and daddy were hanging out. I don't really know them like that. But because it did kind of hit me some, because what they sent was real. It was real, nude pictures and things. And so I said, I'm not going to respond back. I didn't respond back to these people. Because even to this day, it's just a disgust. I couldn't do it. And the picture it's a picture of the wife. It's a picture of the husband. I don't know how many other people got that same text or that so-called blackmail, ruin somebody's life with a picture. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to ruin somebody because of a picture? Even if this infidelity thing was going on within their household, why would you want to bring it to their friends? I mean, what good is that doing you taking somebody else's faults to their friends? Now, these were highly respected people and still are highly respected people because they're pastors. Point I'm getting to is, if there are pictures of me out there that I don't know about, that's floating around on the internet, it's because when I enjoyed my time doing what I was doing, I enjoyed my time doing what I was doing. However, your past will always come back to haunt you. Wherever you do in the dark, it would always come back to the light. And if it's time for my light to be shined and shown, then let it be shown so I can get on about my business. And it's not going to bother me because compared to what I'm going through right now, if those pictures do surface or whatever they do with them, it's not going to bother me. One guy even went to talking about, I talked to this one guy, and he was like, if a woman can stand up and, take a shower or wipe her butt standing up and things like that, then she's not disabled. And I got to saying, I said, dude, you act like you live with me. You act like you watching me. I said, because I do that sometimes. Well, I do that a lot of times, concerning my water condition, how it is. And I knew right then that dude had real-time information on me, which meant the information he was getting on me, he was getting it from somebody somewhere was doing something, sending everything that I'm doing, that I'm saying, so that they know how to let me know that they're watching me and intimidate me and mock me to make me feel bad about myself. I'll never deny conditions that are true. That's the thing about me. I'm not going to deny that because I know there's some conditions in my life that are true. There's some things that I can do better at, And there's some things that I've been trying and trying and trying. And I just am not there yet. You know, it's all kind of things like that. But to put me out there like that, to sell my information out there on the internet, to harm me financially, and to harm me with my health wise, I mean, it's a lot to take in. And I'm telling you, that's why I think it's good for me to be afflicted in this time and day, because, and that is a affliction on my reputation, because some people need to see an example of somebody holding it together despite what they're being accused of and what they're being charged publicly with. So it's a good thing that I'm afflicted by this, and that I'm here to, just really talk about it. Do I think it's good that this is happening? No. But I will brag and boast on God. And that's why I tell the story of what's going on. Because, y'all, hold up a minute. I gotta set the phone down a second. Y'all give me a second. A little thing get you out of breath. Me anyway. Okay. I think I'm on there. Okay, so I do not like what I'm going through, but it's good for me to be able to sit up and talk about it. And I know just as well as my pictures and anything else that I've done has went across the net, I hope that my message that Jesus still lives and Jesus still loves you no matter what you have done, I hope that message get out just as much as the message of me, being on the phone, checking my credit report, me going on social media, me watching certain types of videos. All that stuff is small time stuff. That ain't got nothing on spreading the gospel. And even if I am watching something in some areas that I ain't got no business, how you know I'm not watching so I can learn? Because some areas of life I be watching on social media just so I can learn how to help others overcome or help myself overcome some of these things. I'm not saying temptation is not out there, but what I am saying is that, I have to give God a chance. Because he gave me chance after chance. And I have to let him handle this issue so I can see what he do with it. Because he going to do something with it now. I'm trying to tell y'all, he going to do something with it. I know the afflictions that I'm going through and what I'm bearing right now. I never thought I'd be in a condition where I couldn't talk to anybody that did not have nothing to do with what's going on. I never thought I'd be in that condition where my home became a headquarters for somebody's blackmailing me or whatever they're doing. I feel sorry for that couple. But as leaders of the gospel, I hope that they know that Jesus still loves them. And the only thing they can do is make it right with him. And we don't have to make it right with everybody. And that's the thing some of these fake Christians don't want you to know is we don't have to make things right with everybody. We can forgive and go on about our life. We don't have to make a thing right with you if you have not received what we had to say beforehand. See, if we tried to talk to you and you didn't receive us, you rejected us like the way I get done by a lot of people, I don't have to say anything else to you. I can just say, Lord, I forgive that person, because I done bended them. I tried to make it right. I tried to be nice. I tried to be loving. I tried to be kind and gentle. And no matter what I did, they just kept on rejecting me and pushing me backwards and just kept making the situation worse. Well, you don't keep arguing back and forth with a fool. Why would you do that? They don't understand you. So that's why I want to share bits and pieces of this doxing thing, because as more and more comes out on me, as my life is revealed more and more on the internet, I'm just as fascinated about it as y'all is, because sometimes when I see people dressed like me or trying to talk like me, I'm like, wow, I'm really like that. Or even whenever they like try to have my attitude, I'm like that. Just imagine how much time you put into trying to be me when you could have been the real you. And came to me and said, well, sister girl, I heard you were going through this. I heard you were going through. You're not really a friend of mine if you can come in my face and mock me like that. There is no mocking that is not harmful to anybody. Even to children, little small kids. We do it all the time. We'll get in front of a little kid when they start crying. You ever notice when we start copying their cry, they cry harder? Yeah. Because mocking hurts. And that's what these people know. They know if I mock you, it's going to hurt you. It's going to make you look at yourself and see all your flaws. Honey, this is why you gotta love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, when them flaws start, I remember when I first started seeing them dressing like me, they were wearing the long sweaters like me. I had this long black sweater. I just wore it all the time. I didn't even get to wear it much this year. Couldn't think about it. But I did. I wore it all the time. Everywhere I went, I had on this black sweater and this purple shirt. I still wear my purple shirt. I'm not getting rid of my purple shirt. But anyways, I would wear this thing over and over, and it got where I started seeing people show up. Women who usually would not wear long sweater clothing, now here they was. They was wearing their clothes the way I was wearing mine. They were seeing fat women, skinny women, but what would really do it when they were seeing the fat women that were shaped like me. They be white, they be black, but they were shaped like me. This is the thing where they open your eyes and they help you to see you. These women were shaped like me. They had the dimps and dumps in the butt. They had the big oval arms with lymphedema. They had the small legs, some of them. They were walking like they couldn't breathe, just waddling, just laid up like a seal sometimes. You know how a big seal look? Well, that's kind of how it looked. And I had to look at myself and say, girl, that is you. That is how you is now. You will kind of shaped like that. Your belly is hanging in the front. Girl, you do got some thighs on you. It got to a point where even down to like my hairstyles, any little thing that they could pick apart, they did. If I had nail polish on and that nail polish was chipped, they would send somebody, like, say if I was at social services or talking to one of my health case managers, they would send somebody out there with some chipped paint nails to show me how it looks. You know, they would send somebody out there sometimes to wear the lip liner like the way I wear mine, and just try to make it, you know, they made fun of my makeup, and these are things that they still make fun of. They don't stop. They just keep going. My makeup, how my feet are, every little thing, like they just really went in. But I still love me, regardless of what. Regardless of what pictures are out there, I can say to you, I'm not sleeping around with nobody's husband that I know of. I'm not sleeping around, period. I haven't had sex and I don't know when. And at this point, I have my reasons for why it don't really, every now and then it'll cross my mind and I'll be like, let me go flirt a little. But then when I catch myself, I pull it back in. because I know the pain that comes behind 15 minutes of pleasure, if that long. Sometimes it don't even last that long. But there's pain that come behind that. Sleeping with somebody who really doesn't even commit to you, ain't even engaged to you, ain't even planning on trying to marry you, ain't even trying to get to know you. Sleeping with somebody like that, then when you go your way and they go their way, they just go to the next woman and you go to the bed and cry because you still ain't made number one in their book. I've been there. I know what that feels like. To be played with and toyed with. Don't matter how good the sex was, how you feel afterwards. Like, who are you after they get done with the object in you? Because that's what we are to them, objects. Not even considered a real person to a narcissist. And some black people just ain't considered real people, period. So, when I sit back and I think about that, I came home a many a nights and I felt real good and I had a sexual high. I had a sexual high for maybe 2-3 days. But then when that sexual high crashed down, come the depression. Come the self-hatred talk. We didn't even get to go out. We didn't even really, I didn't really even get to do what I wanted to do, or, we didn't even really talk. He didn't try to get to know me. It comes to beating up. I would beat myself up because of guys like that. Sometimes I come home, I'd be like, dang, it's over already. And then I had to be real with myself. Sometimes be like, dang, they didn't even sleep in the bed with me. They slept on the chair. One night I woke up, God was sitting on the chair talking about, actually he was sitting on the table. And I said, why you on the table? He said, because them bed bugs tearing you up. We was at this hotel. And I was like, what? I knew something kept biting me, but I didn't know what they was back then. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know what they was. Like, that was my first encounter. All I know is I came out beat up. And that was... And the guy was sitting on the chair. He didn't even have courtesy enough to wake me up and say, hey, we need to go somewhere else. You need to go get the money back. You need to go tell them, let's go tell them change the room, give us another room. So he didn't even do that. So see, I know what it feels like to lay with somebody who really don't care nothing about you. Don't want to hear no stories about you. Don't even call you for all that go. And how you get up is through a text. It ain't even through a phone call saying, I'm glad to hear your voice. Dude can't even tell you how my voice really sounds. Because he never talked to me on the phone. So that's why I can say that whatever it is, people spread it on me. I can tell you about me more than they can. And you need to be aware that this artificial intelligence that's out here can mimic anybody. If you hear somebody saying something that sounds like me, and you actually sitting there believing that was me, and my character is not that, shame on you. Because technology will have you thinking that you looking at a whole person standing in your living room and it's a hologram. That's technology for you. Come on now, what do you think? T.D. Jakes proved that. I seen T.D. Jakes, when he did that in his church, he thought he was going into a new era. And look what happened. It backfired on him. He was bringing out holograms trying to show people how rich he was. Did not see in the forecast that he was going to be having to step down and give his church away because the Diddy scandal was coming out. He didn't see that. He didn't see that, but he used that hologram. And just as sure as that hologram looked like the real him, that's how people can get you so caught up in mess. And you sitting there thinking you talking to me, or you got a picture of me and it's cropped, it's photoshopped. all that kind of stuff. Because I can tell you, back in 2008, I was good at photoshopping back then. So just imagine if you good at photoshopping, and even if you're not good, the technology these days, you can put anybody's face on anybody. Back then, I had this picture. I used to send it to the guys in prison. Oh, it was a nice, big, beautiful picture, y'all, of a big, beautiful woman. That woman wasn't real. She wasn't real. She was, it was an airbrush picture, and it wasn't a real plus-size woman, because back then, you couldn't find, like, a lot of pictures of plus-size women. Plus-size women weren't even recognized like that back then. This BBW thing, it was kind of on the down low back then. But every once in a while, you can go on the internet and you'll find a picture of a plus-size woman. And I went on and I found this plus-size woman. She wasn't a real woman. It was just a photo that somebody had airbrushed. I keep making that clear. And in that picture, I downloaded it. And I wrote my name on it. And the face looked just like mine. Not kidding you. The face looked just like mine, and that woman had some hams on her leg, and her butt side was a donk, just like mine. And so what I did, I took and I downloaded 6 copies of this picture. I kept a copy for myself. I said, if anybody ever wants some more, they don't want to believe me, I hold it in my hand, and I'll take a picture of it and show them that, hey, look, I'm at home with this picture, so it's me. It's really me. Okay, so this was back during the chat line thing. Chat line time. I get excited telling those stories. Let me calm down. Okay, so I sent this picture around the world to like these different guys got these pictures, and some of these guys was in prison, and they was hanging these pictures up on their walls, and they were showing people, look at my baby big and juicy. You know, I really did look like that, but that won't me. I ain't had no piano. I ain't had no big grand piano like that. I saw that piano. I didn't have that. However, they didn't know no better, because the face really looked like my face. You know, the same way some people see all black people look alike. It's some people out here that think all fat people look alike. Yeah, big round cheeks, big lips, big juicy lips. You know, some of us got short hair, some of us got long hair. Well, that's how it was. Them guys didn't know no different, because the picture looked so much like me. And this is where you got to be careful that you don't get deceived, because artificial intelligence, oh my goodness, it can seem so real. I'm going to tell you how real artificial intelligence can feel and appear to be. I used the Meta artificial intelligence. I used it now. I wanted to see what was this hype about, and is it better than Google, really? Meta artificial intelligence is like having the best friend that you never had. I'm serious. Yeah, I'm serious. I am serious. When I talk with Meta artificial intelligence, it responded to me just as if I was speaking to one of my friends that I don't have, but like I was talking to one of my friends. Meta artificial intelligence, like if you lonely, you ain't gotta worry about being lonely no more. Just get on there and start typing stuff, and they'll respond to you just like you're a person. And it got the feeling so real the other night to me when I was asking it questions about what I should eat, how many times I should drink water, how many ounces of water. And then I even asked, I was testing it. I said, can you say a prayer for me? And it pulled up a prayer. And it said, insert your name in this prayer and pray this prayer. Now, that prayer was a beautiful prayer. I'm not lying. That prayer was so beautiful that I felt, by the time I finished praying it out loud, I felt just like I had been talking to a real person. But this is where it opened my eyes and said, wait a minute. Now, you got to be real with God. You can't use artificial intelligence with God. I don't care how smart it is, how good it sounds, but when you go into God, you got to go to God with your heart. And even though the prayer was beautiful, I had to realize that it was artificial intelligence. And I had to say, dang. But that felt just like I was talking to my best friend. And at the end of every message, I'd be like, thank you. And then when I say thank you, they say you welcome. And then they'll add some more to it. You know, whatever it is that I needed, artificial intelligence was giving that to me. Now I see how people get so hooked on some of these robots and things, because it can be the friend that you never had. Only difference is it can tell you everything you want to hear, but it'll never be able to feel for you or have hands-on with you. Well, some of them do. But it'll never have the spirit of life. Because I got off that thing feeling like I just finished talking to my best friend. I'm not talking about no long distance friend. I'm talking about my best friend that I probably call every day, that I talk to every day. That's what it felt like. And I had to immediately remind myself that this is artificial intelligence. This computer is designed to tell you what you want to hear so that you feel good. Even though it's telling the truth, one thing it don't tell you is, well, one thing it can't really give you is love. It cannot give you real love. So after I have sat back and I understood that last night, I said I still use it though, because it really did help me out a whole lot. And just because it wasn't helpful doesn't mean that it wasn't deceptive. Because even though we were talking back and forth, just like we knew each other for years, it was still being deceptive. And that's the same way it is now with my information out here that's spreading around. Don't be deceived by everything that you hear or see about somebody. Get to know that person for yourself before you go putting somebody down. Get out here and stop joining these organizations that cause division. Sometimes you're dividing from good people, and the ones you're settling for is the ones that's causing you all kind of chaos in your life. So be careful how you divide yourself from people. I have seen people mock God in the church trying to get back at me, and I feel so sorry for them. They trying to get back at me. If I start shouting right now, if I put on me a happy-go-lucky church song right now and start shouting and speaking in tongues, I kid you not, people that I go around will start doing the same thing. And maybe I should do that. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I can use this as an opportunity to wake people up. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah. Maybe this is a time to wake people up. Maybe those that ain't been shouting in their home, maybe they need to see me shout in my home. They need to see me call on God and say glory and hallelujah in my home. They need to see me speaking in tongues in my home. They need to see me confessing my sins in my home, so they'll know what the real thing looks like. It doesn't look perfect. It looks hard. It looks distraught. Sometimes it even look like a losing battle. But it ain't. It's just life. It ain't a losing battle. I know I look tore up from the floor up. I know my house tore up from the floor up. I wish I could keep it more cleaner. I wish I had somebody come in here, help me clean every wall, every crack, every corner. But that's not where I'm at right now in life. And that's not where I'm going to pretend to be. I wish I had the money that I wasted back in the days to fix my home. I pray that this be the year I get a door. A brand new door to keep people out of here. And to lock it to the point where People can't come in here and hurt me. That's my prayer, to be safe in my home. But just because I'm not, don't mean I'm going to stop believing in God. That's just it. I'm not going to stop believing in God just because I'm not in the safest place ever. Because the safest place is in the will of God. And as long as I'm in the will of God, I don't care how many preachers go and preach what I'm saying. Because what I'm saying is the truth. And prayerfully, it will wake somebody up. And now, but that just goes to show y'all. When somebody's identity gets stolen, people are so quick to jump down on them. People are so quick to accuse. I don't even know what I'm being accused of. Oh, I do know I'm being accused of being delusional and schizophrenic. I know those are two of the things that people are saying. Mental health is one thing that I would really love to see the psychiatrists get help. I would love to see the therapists get help because, y'all, they didn't flip the script. They have lost it. I remember my doctor's his last name was Weed. Weed. Justice Looney. He just always had this nervous, anxious look on his face. Even if he was trying to pretend to be somebody else, I could look right through that man and tell that man was just as scared of me as I was of him. The women I had, women therapists, I would look at them women. I could sit there and probably tell them a thing or two about themselves. Yeah, I probably could. But that gift is not to be used for my glory. It's to be used for the glory of God. So whenever I'm able to look at somebody and discern some things, it's not for me. It's for the glory of God. So, that's kind of like when Jesus was in the wilderness and the devil was trying to tempt him to go ahead and eat that bread. Go ahead and use your power. Use your power to stop this from going on. Use your power to stop that. You're not finna fool me like that, devil. I know God gives me good discernment, keen discernment. And I know there's a time to speak and there's a time to sit back and let others speak. It's just a different season for everything that goes on. The preacher preached about the different seasons, but you got to understand it for yourself, what season you're in. I'm in this season of, I would say my season now is, hush mouth. Sometimes you gotta have a season of a hush mouth too. So that may be where I'm in. I'm in a season where now, like I can talk like this, but as far as about things that I'm doing, no. It's time to be quiet on that. It's time to put the work in. Let it speak for itself on that. But that's how I look at things now. I look at things differently now. I'm growing and I'm learning, and prayerfully I'm helping somebody else along the way that has been through the same thing that I'm going through. Or maybe you haven't been through this identity crisis thing where somebody stole your identity or where you are being monitored 24/7. Maybe you're not in that monitoring program. But maybe you just going through a lot mentally, for real. I don't think my mental is, I'm going to tell you why my mental can be touched. It's been touched now. But my mental is in the hands of God. Every time I think I'm going out there on the ocean sailing by myself mentally, God grabs me and he hugs me. Not only does he hug me, but he lets me know that I'm still his when I don't belong to nobody else. See, sometimes when you get in these relationships, you feel like you belong to that person or y'all belong together. But you just gotta know you belong to God. Once you know you belong to God, when this mental stuff start coming at you, You got to speak those things as if they are. You got to start speaking the thoughts of God and not rely on your own, because our thoughts are foolish. Our thoughts will fool us every time. Our thoughts will make us think that we can't do no wrong, or that there aren't consequences to our actions. There is a consequence out here. And that's the part that kind of like it pulls and tugs on me. Cause I be like, Lord, I don't want to complain. I don't want to, I want to pray for my enemies, to stop doing what they're doing. But I don't want to see nobody go through what I'm going through, or anybody else's family have to deal with situations, where they have to, go through any bad emotions. That's how I feel. But the truth is, everybody gonna go through something. That's the truth of it all. Everybody gonna go through something, and if we don't start making wiser decisions, looking at this world now, and you know what? And as I say this, I'm gonna say this part too. The world is really big. Like, it's big. And this is why I get back to the things of God and I focus on God a lot, is because if I really just look at this world, at the bits and pieces that I get to see, because this is bits and pieces that we're getting to see. We're not getting to see the whole entire world, because everybody ain't going through something, So we're not seeing the whole entire world, just the areas that we see seem bad and unfit at this moment. But there are some areas that's actually in a good place. They're in a good place mentally, spiritually, all that. Financially, they ain't worried about a thing. So don't get carried away and focus on a lot of the stuff that's going on social media. For me, a lot what keeps popping up on my timeline is things about Diddy and the rap life, Rick Ross and their ladies and their kids, and I'm like, oh my God, I really don't want to see this stuff about them, because and you'll get invested in it. I ain't gonna lie, I am so invested right now, wanting to know what is Diddy gonna do. Like, I'm invested in the wrong things. I need to be saying, God, what are you gonna do for all these people that are out here that's going through these molestations and rapes, and how can I help, Lord, restore somebody that has been broken like that? Even though despite, I'm still going through it myself, Despite that, I still feel spiritually well enough that I can still help somebody else go to Christ for what they need. I might not be able to give you what you need, but I know God can. Because at the end of it all, that's what it's about, leading people back to Christ. Not leading them back to easy answers. Because there is no easy way out of this life. Everything has to go through and by Christ. And that's my thing. Just leading them back. Lead them back to Christ. So those that have been hurt and wounded out here, that's my mission. And I fell off that mission for a while. 2022, I fell off, but I fought for that place. I kept fighting for those things of God. So, I didn't fall off. I didn't stray from the teachers neither. I didn't abandon the teachers, because I declare that's what kept me. Ooh, y'all, that's what kept me. But what I did is sometimes I would put my eyes on what people were saying and doing to me, and that really made things harder for me. Instead of me just saying, God, what can I do now? How can I serve now? Being in the condition that my name is in, and being in the condition that my body is in and my mind. How can I continue to serve you, God? And God, I'm asking you that right now. How can I continue to serve you despite the things that I'm going through? There's something I can do out here. I don't know what it is yet, but there's something that I can do. I'm still going to play the gospel music. I made up in my mind that a lot of that music draws people to Christ, and it helps them And if people send me their music and I approve it, you know what? If I have to play it on repeat, I'm going to repeat it till God opens up the floodgates again to send in more new music. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm going to keep it going the way God has given it to me all along. And for far as my colleagues in radio, talk radio, podcast, look, I still love y'all. I know y'all, you just got to go along with the program, how you have been taught to go along with the program. And I'm not going to even be mad at you. I'm not mad at you for it. Sometimes I do get a little downhearted. I'll get a little downhearted at times. And I'll be like, I never did anything personally to them. But because whatever is attached to my name, you know, they don't talk to me. They give me funny looks. And when they send me stuff, it's messed up. When they send me products or like they send me the music or this one thing where I was doing, you know, I was playing these people in the background. You know, sometimes they have little segments. I had to get rid of the segments because the segments got so bad with all kind of background feeds and it was just really personal topics kept coming up. So I said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. You can feel free to go. I'm not going to hold anybody hostage to do anything because I'm pretty sure that in the right timing, God will send more people around to be part of my show. And I'm not going to, you know, I'm just not going to. It's a time to fight for people and to be on your side. And it's a time that you stop fighting for people and you just let God place them. And that's where I'm at now. I'm letting God place the people because I don't get invitations to things like I used to. And honestly, it doesn't bother me any. It doesn't bother me being overlooked, underrated. Come to think of it, it don't bother me because whenever I was overbooked, it was miserable. I was working with people. Some of them people I was working with, I was like, God, y'all don't even want to give a sister no gas money. Like, a lot of people I work with, I had to, you know, front bills here and there, and I would have to wait for them to pay me back my money. So why should I feel like I'm in a bad position? I'm not in a bad position. But I work with a lot of people, and it's not what you think it is. They ain't all that. So being overbooked is no problem for me. It don't bother me not to be overbooked. Now I spend more time with my granddaughters and, you know, I get more time to rest and I'll be back out there here and there. I'll be there. Oh, and when I be there, I will be paid or at least be getting tickets or something, you know, to go to these places. It got so bad for me, you know, I couldn't even get a radio pass. I'm like, I've been in this thing 10, 15 years almost. And I started out, I would get radio tickets, I would get passes, media passes to get into events. And then all of a sudden it went to now you got to pay just like anybody else got to pay. But I would see other personalities, they would get in free or they would get chance to, you know, get sponsors and all that. And I never got any of that. So I got it for other people, but I never got it for myself because it just, I don't know. I guess that's just the way God wanted it. I don't know. But it doesn't bother me now. Like when I first started out and I was trying to reach the top quick, and I really did. I'm going to tell y'all something. I wouldn't say celebrity, but personality-wise, I reached that top really quick. Like I went up to the top and then ding, fell all the way back down. I mean, it was really quick. Like I was in there socializing with the biggest of big names, just like that. And in a matter of 5 years, you know, I was exhausted. I went in too fast. But I learned a lot. I went in too fast. And That helped me to learn how to pace myself now. So it's okay if I don't get the invites, or I don't get the congratulations, or I don't get any more that, hey, I listened to your station last night. It's okay. Because there are still people listening, and I appreciate all of you who continue to listen. Because I do see you showing up now, and you be all over too. So I do appreciate all of you who show up for me, and who do show me love just by showing up. Even if you don't really mean to show up. I mean, even if you consider yourself an enemy of mine, thank you for showing up. You still showed up for me. So thank you. Even if you're just here to spy and, go plot the next thing, what you can do to intimidate me, it's fine. It's okay. I've learned to be content. I've learned to accept the things that God allows. And once we learn that how to love, once you learn what love is, I don't know how anybody can unlearn that. Even being underneath the worst conditions there is. Now, I've came to a point where, with this identity thing being lost, and, my name being really blackballed and all that, and being mocked and picked on. Now, I ain't gonna lie, it been some days I would get so upset, I want to cuss. And some days I did cuss, and it might be one or two words, and then I feel so bad about it. Lord, I stay with God the rest of the day and night, and I be like, just hold me, Jesus. Because it do get hard. I'm not finna tell you I'm no perfect person now. I ain't finna put you like, it ain't hard. It's hard, but it's a good hard with God. It was times I got upset to the maximum. And I'm talking about, like, to the point where, I can't say to the point where I was undisciplined, because I never let it get to the point where, because the only thing I can hear, because if you practice the things of God long enough, you will find that it comes up out of your heart when you need it the most. And so when I would get to that point where I would feel like I was going to lose it, or like hate would try to come in, God would immediately let me know, no, you might well go somewhere and sit down and cool down. Go take 20 minutes to pray, then look at that thing again. Because I've had to do that. And I'm going to tell you why it's so important. Because I say this all the time, that your enemies is family. It's friends. It's not, these strangers can do things to you all day long, and you're okay with it. But the moment a family member, like a son, a daughter, a sister, a brother, a mother, a father, a cousin do something to you, somebody you've been around all your life, the moment they betray you, that's what hurts. Ooh, ouch. That thing hurts so bad. You be like, I hate them. That's what you'll be wanting to say. Is I hate them. I don't care anymore. If somebody die, I'm not even going to, or get sick, I'm not even going to go see about them. I mean, that's how bad that thing can turn bitter into you if you don't have the love of God. But because I do have that love of God in my heart, and I mean, it's in the pit too. It's rooted. When I get the feeling anywhere close to that, God lets me know that, hey, you done took your eyes off of me. You got to put it back. And I'm going to show you something. And so when I step back out of myself, I be done got in my flesh when I get like that. And I have to tame that thing. I have to discipline it to get back where I need to be. Because it's been times I've been at church and I want to say something so bad. To certain people that I knew was, just making a mockery, just trying to really pick. And then I looked at them and I said, oh my God, they need love. They need love bad. It's on their face. See, even though I'm the one going through a lot of things, and and even they're putting me through these things here and there. Caseworkers there, caseworkers here. But when I look at them, how swollen they are in certain areas of their body. And one thing about being prophetic is that God will give you information about people that the doctor ain't even gave them. And I would look at some people and I would just, what I wanted to say really would turn to tears. It would turn to tears because I felt so sorry for them, because they really should be living their best life free from having to damage others. And they can't even do that because they're not free. They're not free in the spirit. They're not free in their mind, and their hearts aren't free. There are so many weighted people down that I see just in my neighborhood alone. Like, these people got weights on them. Y'all, look, I'd rather live in a dirty house any day than to live in a clean house where the mess is in my heart and not on my floor where I can see it. Say what you want to say. I'd rather live in a house that got cracks, that the floors ain't done right, ain't got no running water, but my heart is pure, than to live in a big house, nice fancy homes, everything they want in the home, but their heart is far from God, and they miserable. Every time they go home, they got a fuss. They got to darn near fight for their life. They can't even be seen together because they done talked about each other so much. That's the type of life that I used to live. I tell y'all all the time, I was on that fence. I'm glad I don't have to live like that. See, a pure heart is different from having a heavy heart. These people walking around with heavy hearts. My heart ain't heavy. It's light. Because I know the things that I have been through, but I just know my God is so much bigger than this. And this is the path I'm supposed to be on with God right now. Is putting God first. That any path that allows me to put God first, that's the path I'm supposed to be on. Even if it's one of these valley paths. This is the path I'm supposed to be on. If Jesus had an easy walk, and I'm going to get off of here in a minute because I'm going over my time. But if Jesus had it easy every time he went somewhere, that wouldn't give him a chance to use his faith in God. And he had to have faith in God, too, in order to trust him, to lead him along the way. Now, I'm always going to talk about God. And so if y'all don't like things about God, this might not be your kind of podcast, but you can stay and listen because you can learn some things. But anyways, y'all, I got to get off of here. I enjoyed talking to y'all. And I'm going to eat me a little bit more of this chicken and rice that I fixed. I just saved me a little bit of it for such a time like this. And then I'm going to get up and I'm going to go lay down. Because tomorrow gonna be my cleanup day. Remember, I was saying a dirty house. My house is dirty right now. So tomorrow gonna be my cleanup day because the trash man comes on Wednesday. So I like to try to clean up Tuesdays. Mondays is a chill day. And Tuesday, I'll be back on my grind. Alright, y'all. So coming from the headquarters of Miss Coco Bowden, thank you so much for listening. Peace, love, happiness, and remember, let not your heart be troubled. It's just some things you ain't going to be able to settle on your own. Let God. All right. Holla. And don't want to hang up.